Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be jumping into a bit of a spin wheel here where you guys have been over on the Patreon and you have voted for your favourite monsters, or at least the monsters that you want to see face off against each other in glorious D20 combat over in the arena. So without further ado, it is time to spin them off against each other and see which of the dungeon denizens you guys have all selected are going to be paired off against each other. But before we do that, we did have 3 monsters that tied with 7 points over in the vote, and unfortunately there is only room for one of them. So we are going to roll in a d4 to see which of these creatures is going to be making it into the arena for Season 2. Now out of these creatures we have the Quetzalcoatlus, the Ghast, and the Gibbering Mouther. So Quetzalcoatlus is going to be in on a 1 to 2 on the d6, the Ghast is going to be in on a 3 to 4, and the Gibbering Mouther on a 5 to 6. So let's roll in and see what we get. I'm just going to transfer you over here. Let me pop that down for you right there. And so let's roll in. And that is a 4, which again, if you can just see that down there, which means that the Ghast is making its debut appearance here in Dungeons & Death Battles in the 2nd season. Good stuff. So moving that out of the way, that does mean that I can now update the spin wheel. And there we go, with a quick refresh, voila. Ghast is on the board. So without further ado, let's start spinning this wheel and let's see which monsters are going to be facing off against each other. I'm excited for this. There's some real strong contenders on here. I'm looking forward to battling each of them against each other. Again, get those early predictions in. I want to see who you think, before the season even starts, I want to see who you think is going to take the crown in Season 2. Of course, we do have some of the larger creatures now, such as the Allosaurus and the Ogre. And then we've got the champion of Season 1, the animated armor, receiving a slight buff to its stat block in order to make sure that it is going to stand a chance here with everything else that is CR2. So let's get spinning. I'm coming in with that first one. The first one there is going to be the Wanty Broodguard. And the Wanty Broodguard is going to be facing off against... ooh, the Berserker. Good first battle there. We spin in once again. So that is round 1, Wanty Broodlord versus Berserker. In the second round, we're starting off strong with the Intellect Devourer. And it is going to be taking on the Dragon Wormling, which we have established due to another poll over on the Patreon as a Silver Dragon Wormling. Oh, that is a good one against the Intellect Devourer. It's interesting that it gets to go up against a creature that does have a shred of intelligence. So let's continue the spin. Oh, now we have the Null Pack Lord, which is going to be taking on... which denizen are we going to get? We're going to get the Dwergar Mindmaster. Now, this really is one that I'm looking forward to running. It's an absolutely devious creature, this one. And so we're going to see how it handles itself in the arena. So we have 3 of our combats selected. Let's continue on to number 4. And that is going to be the Ettercap. So the Ettercap being... probably the first monster I ever actually encountered in Dungeons & Dragons as a player. So really looking forward to getting to use this one. Great community choice, that one. Spinning in yet again. Ettercap versus Mimic. 2 pretty iconic monsters there. I am very interested to see how the Mimic is actually going to do in an arena setting. It doesn't really strike me as being its forte, but we may be surprised. Spin in for combat number 5. That is landing on the Druid. So for our more humanoid contenders, I do want to hear some name suggestions so we can really get behind these guys. I've been resting on Dave the Druid, perhaps, but, you know, give me some better ones. I'm sure you've got them. And spinning in to see who he's going to be facing off against, or she. And we have the Spine Devil. The Pit Lord somewhere is going to be looking on expectantly at this one. Going to see how far it makes it. We roll in for combat number 6. That is going to be our Nothic. And the Nothic is going to be facing off against... there he is. Season 1's champion, the animated armor, going toe-to-toe with the Nothic. Which does only leave 4 more creatures left, so 2 more combats. Cult Fanatic, Ghast, Ogre, and Allosaurus, all really big contenders. So let's see who's going to get who. And we are starting off there with the Allosaurus. Again, big dinosaur fan here. Really looking forward to piloting the Allosaurus in these combats. Or combat, we'll see how it does. Allosaurus facing off against the Ghast. There it is. There's our recently rolled in contender. facing off against the mightiest the Jurassic has to offer. And of course, I don't even need to spin it, but spinning it's quite fun. We have the Cult Fanatic taking on the Ogre in the final fight. And there we have it. Spin wheel complete. We have our list of contenders. Those, of course, being the Yuan-ti Broodguard versus the Berserker, the Intellect Devourer taking on the Young Silverworm, the Null Pack Lord versus the Dwegar Mindmaster, the Ettercap taking on the Mimic, the Druid versus the Spine Devil, the Nothic versus the Animated Armor, the Allosaurus versus the Ghast, and of course the Cult Fanatic taking on the Ogre. So once again, guys, thank you very much for heading over to the Patreon and getting those votes in. Of course, the Patreon is still standing and will be used for future votes and all kinds of things like this. So make sure you're over there. You can sign up as a free member, or of course, if you're feeling a little extra generous, you can join as a paid member, which would be greatly appreciated. But of course, there is a reason that most things are available for free, as I want to encourage as much interactivity as possible. There will be a few benefits to paid members as time goes on, including a Discord channel which has very recently been set up. But other than that, thank you very much for watching as always, and we will be back with the second season of Dungeons & Death Battles very soon, kicking off with the Yuan-ti Broodguard taking on the Berserker. And I will see you for that very, very soon.